It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. Throughout history and right up to the present, there have existed jobs that suck the life out of you, turn your stomach, treat you like trash, and don't pay you nearly enough. Welcome to where the labor movement meets the bowel movement. Right this very miserable instant, the worst jobs ever get deep, fat, fried. Everybody, welcome back to Deep Fat Fried. How's everyone doing out there in the universe? Not that I really give a shit. Whoa. Fucking pleb-ass pieces of garbage. Actually, I doubt this will be a pleb episode. This episode's going to be fucking disgusting. So I'm going to let the squeamish amongst us, Paul, know that you're going to puke, Paul. I've made it my personal goal to make your ass puke in this episode.
I love
personal goal to ruin your appetite and help you with your diet in the process, you know?
You've got a head start because I told you guys after we filmed that fucking grease trap that I woke up.
You're already nauseous, aren't you?
I am. I'm feeling a little better now than I was before, but I still got a little nausea going on.
Well, guess what? It's not going to. This episode ain't going to improve it.
Great.
TJ,
that's what I was looking forward to.
That I'm not squeamish at all, so I say bring on your bullshit.
Oh, I ain't even trying to fucking get you. Whatever.
All right.
I mean, you know.
A wise decision. A wise decision indeed.
I could fucking. You could be covered in I could probably dump a barrel of human shit on you. You might get mad, but you're probably not going to get disgusted. I don't know.
A barrel of human shit? I think I'd be pretty disgusted by a barrel of human shit being dumped on me. I could probably dump.
Maybe you're not quite that immune to disgust, but you know, I know you're not squeamish. So
this is a good topic too, because I worked a very disgusting job once.
Yeah, I was actually gonna have you tell us about that because I know you worked a nasty ass job at one point.
I did. I worked a totally disgusting job.
Why don't you tell us about that? Tell us what that was.
I used to work at a glass recycling plant. That
doesn't sound that disgusting at first.
It processed what's called tricolor or three color, which means mixed colored glasses. So you know how glass comes in amber, green, and clear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of recycling plants only accept one kind of glass for processing into cullet, which is glass that's been broken down and ready to be put into a furnace and made into new glass. So, but ours was a 3-color site, which means we basically got garbage. Mostly from the Bay Area. They would empty recycling bins, which, as you know, human beings use only for recyclables. They never put anything in a recycling bin that shouldn't be in there.
Of course not. Yeah.
Why would you do it? Yeah.
People respect the recycling bin.
Of course.
They never just throw a dirty diaper or whatever the
hell.
Hey,
Paul, I'm sorry in advance because I'm definitely one of those people.
Of course, everybody is. I've done it. But with this job, we would get these big truckloads of garbage from mostly, like I said, the Bay Area and the LA area, and it would be dumped into a big hopper, and then I would stand on a conveyor belt where this shit would be fed, and it was my job to pick out metals, ceramics, and any large object that was not glass. I spent the 8 months that I worked that job picking out diapers, maxi pads, tied off used condoms, hypodermic needles. If you think about a kind of human waste that you wouldn't want to deal with, it was my job to stand in front of a conveyor belt and put my hands in it every day for about 8 months.
You got gloves and shit though, right?
Yeah, we had no. We had very thick gloves, safety gloves they're called, but gloves, there are only certain types of gloves that will stop the penetration of a hypodermic needle.
Right.
And we did not have those. There was a dude that worked at our place that got stuck while he was on the line, and he was scared shitless because AIDS doesn't show up for years sometimes. So,
right.
You know what I mean? You get stuck with a hypo. You don't know for fucking potentially years whether or not you've been infected with HIV. So that's just one of the things that I was.
I mean, that's just one. I mean, that's just one disease.
So basically, medical waste or intravenous drug use waste is just wow. Yeah, I never knew that recycling you had to deal with things like that.
So yep, that was my disgusting job. I'm sure you've got some worse ones, but
how about you,
that one's
Scotty?
pretty fucking bad.
Have you ever done a nasty job, even if it was just like a one-time thing? You ever done a disgusting job?
Yes. One time, actually, I don't think you were there, but maybe you were. You can correct me if I've left you out of the story. Our old cat Pippin he was like an indoor-outdoor cat.
About this, but I didn't fucking
indoor-outdoor cat. And he would regularly get into fights. And I mean, like the woods around where our parents live. I mean, there's like coyotes. There's some big ass feral cats. There's like this one cat we call Demon, who must have been 30, 40, 50 pounds, like somewhere in that range. It was like, it must have been more than 30, probably like 40 to 50 pounds if I had to place Demon. And it was pretty much all white, and it looked like a demon. It was like, the night we discovered this cat existed, it was basically like they had a sliding glass door, they had two of them, and it was just, its body was splayed out, looking inside the house on the sliding glass door, and we're like, what the fuck is that? So this woods is filled with peril for a cat. Oh yeah, filled with fucking peril. And Pippin came back one night, like Pippin had gotten into a fucking serious fucking fight. I mean, this cat was fucking insane. Really, like one of like the most badass cats. Like a lot of cats in Louisiana are like that. Like there's like, it's kind of how Squeaks is, TJ, but like even more badass. Like Pippin would fucking beat the shit out of Squeaks.
Pippin would fucking dunk on Squeaks.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like literally, like Pippin would have been like, Squeaks, you my bitch, and Squeaks is a crazy ass cat. So, anyways, he gets into a bad fight, and his back is tore the fuck up. It's like, just, I mean, like it's just meat. Like we're like in like the Bactine stuff and that blue spray, like doing all this stuff, just like trying to heal his back. Because like my mom's like, we ain't got no money for no vet. That ain't happening. The vet's a thing. So like, okay, so Pippin's healing up for like a day or two, and it's like Pippin basically an abscess is formed on Pippin's back.
Yeah,
and the only thing to and if we obviously if it's not. Like it has to be drained. The pus and everything it has to happen. They're squeamish as shit. Like my mom tries to do it, she can't do it. Stevie is like too emotionally compromised, and he can't do it. Steve is like the most squeamish person you'll fucking meet. Steve can't do it. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll do this shit. I guess I will be the one to drain the abscess from a fucking ornery cat. It's back. Now I'll tell you what. I thought that the Pippin part, like Pippin getting pissed, was going to be the worst part, but Pippin was in such pain, it was at the point of like, I don't give a fuck what you do. Just fucking help me. Like, I need this help so badly, even being a cat. Anyone that's ever held a cat knows how bitey cats are. Or how prone they are just to fucking turn around and scratch the shit out of you if you displease them in any way. But Pippin was pretty much going on with the program. Like, they were still holding him in the front, and he was doing that. So I'm starting to squeeze it, and like these huge just pustules of pus, like the worst like kind of videos where you see like those huge blackheads and like cystic acne. It's just like that, and it's like cheesy, and it's like a putrid, foul smell is coming out of it, and I'm like, and like just splurting out, and it's like bloody. There's like blood and pus everywhere, and I'm like squeezing, and I'm like, there's like no gloves for me to do this, by the way. Like I don't know why we didn't have any gloves, so I'm just like squeezing with my fucking bare hand. It's just. Steve, like, they're almost throwing up. Like, oh, I'm like, eventually, I'm like, leave the room, leave the fucking room. My mom is doing like the cringy thing where she's cringing so much she can barely see, but she's like, kind of like, okay, all right, I'm holding Pippin. I don't really want to hold Pippin. Oh my god, it's horrible. It's horrible. Eventually, I'm just like, just get out of the room. And it's just me and Pippin in the room. and I'm just squeezing and squeezing. Finally, like nothing else comes out. Pippin looks super relieved. We pack his fucking wounds as good as we can. We're like fucking religious about that shit. And Pippin, despite never going to a vet or anything like that, with Scotty medicine, I guess, or Scotty fucking squeezing the fucking abscess, I saved fucking Pippin's life. Pippin made a full recovery and lived several years after that.
Cool. There you go. Dude, I can think of a disgusting job that Scotty did.
Oh, what's that?
Dude, you remember that night we were filming something down at your old house in fucking Bellevue, TJ, and fucking Yujiro showed up and puked right in between.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
So like he did that, and like the smell of that hit me, and I almost threw up from that, and I ran upstairs to get away from it, and almost slipped and fell in a puddle of diarrhea that he had shit right at the top of the stairs.
That dog has a sensitive ass stomach, dude.
Oh my god!
And I know it was Scotty that cleaned that shit up.
Yeah, it was. Oh, dude, Paul, I can't tell you how pissed I was. I was like, fucking Joe, motherfucker. I cannot believe you did. But you can't blame me. It's not, it's not his fault, but you're still fucking pissed. I'm like scrubbing, like.
Dude.
Go ahead,
I still
TJ.
remember it was a time before that. We never gave Yujiro leftovers after this incident. It was like
God.
he had a really sensitive stomach, and we like had some leftover beef with broccoli from like a Chinese place. Like, we'll give Yujiro the rest. Be a nice little treat for him. But we didn't realize at the time how sensitive of a stomach Yujiro had, because he didn't really get table scraps much or anything. And when he did, it was like a small amount. It was like, yeah, we got all this. This is, it's fine. He can eat that. But no, we were wrong. So the next day, like, I went downstairs because we were living in we had like a 3-story kind of a townhouse sort of thing at the time, like shotgun style. And I went down to like the little foyer area, and like the entirety of the foyer area was just like an ocean of diuretic shit.
It was, dude. Paul, I can tell you this: if you think that's an exaggeration or that's like some hot sauce behind the story, I assure you, the hour and a half I spent cleaning it disagrees with you.
No, I don't think that there. Trust me, I saw the puddle of horribleness at the top of the stairs, and so I can only imagine if that was beef and broccoli. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I can tell. I can tell there's no hot sauce being poured on this.
Dog shit.
By the way, too, Paul, like he had thrown up in his crate as well, so like it come out both ways.
Yep.
It was disgusting.
It was a huge mess.
Because I remember TJ, like, I remember you waking me up, you're like, Scotty. I'll never forget this shit either, man. Because, like, he wasn't even a dick about it. He's like, Scotty, like, I'll be mad about what your dog did. But, man, when you get down there, you have to clean up. Like, I don't even need to be mad at you. Have fun with that shit. Then I remember just, like, going down, like, 3 stories down, like, all right, go down 1 flight of steps, okay. Get down the next flight, I just go down, I just see the fucking... And I will give it to Yujiro's credit, he has probably been pretty good about this. The house is mainly carpet, the townhouse is mainly carpet. He had gone to a surface that was not carpet, because if that had been on a carpet, I've been calling somebody. There's no fucking way.
To fucking replace
like Stanley steamer or something.
Yes, they're coming out.
I don't know if you can Stanley steam an ocean of diarrhea, you know what I mean?
You can try. You can try.
So I'll tell you, I've definitely had to deal with some disgusting shit. I'll tell you the 2 that like spring to mind as like particularly awful.
Okay.
I have one. I mean, there's some other ones that are longer stories, but these are 2 that are just like I could tell quickly. So the runner up for the most disgusting thing I ever had to do would probably be there was somehow I came into the possession of like an antique refrigerator. I think it was like it belonged to like Cody's fucking dad or some shit. Somehow I ended up with this fucking refrigerator.
They gave it to us when we were moving. Yeah, that's basically what it was.
And it was like some kind of like, it's an antique. So it's like, and it looked pretty cool. It's like, oh, yeah. And like we plugged it in, it actually worked. Holy shit, this fucking old ass refrigerator still fucking works. It still keeps shit cold. Well, apparently, it worked for 50 years or however like long it had been around on the planet Earth, but under my tenure is when it decided to fail. And so the freezer part, and I don't even know how this fucking happened, because I was always told that like flies only lay eggs in like meat, like dead things. But there was no meat in there. But nonetheless, somehow it just got completely infested
with maggots.
Maggots everywhere.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was covered.
Just a writhing fucking sea of squirming, wriggling, horrible maggots. And I don't know how you feel about maggots, but they particularly disgust me. And having to clean that out was fucking disgusting. And the few times when one got on me, I pretty much screamed like a little girl. So that was runner-up. But the most disgusting thing I think I've ever had to deal with, one time Scotty got sick.
I know.
And he ran to the bathroom, and for some reason, perfectly good toilet he could puke in, but he decided he's going to puke in the fucking sink.
God, no.
And the puke, the first wave of puke hit that sink, it instantly clogged it.
Of course.
And Scotty had like a projectile, entire emptying of the stomach contents puke. So I walked into the bathroom to find a sink basin completely filled with vomit. And Scotty was too sick to clean it up himself. So I basically had to fucking reach my hand into a fucking giant puddle of Scotty's puke. I couldn't even call it a puddle. It was just a full sink basin of puke. And I had to deal with that. And that was a 20, 30-minute job. It was gross as fuck.
Oh, my God, dude.
It was fucking nasty, dude. And I'd rather deal with shit or maggots compared to just a fucking big old sink basin of puke. I'll tell you that right now.
I've actually had to. Now, I was lucky because the similar situation that I've been through was somebody that drank too much. So most of the puke that was in there, now there was some food, but most of it was just vodka. But it was still fucking, there was enough chunks in there that it clogged the fucking sink. And I was the only one awake to take care of it. I didn't even know who did it. Like, so to this day.
Scotty's puke was like a thick ragu of puke.
See,
and it was about as orange as our fucking logo down there. I remember it. A big, orange, chunky, fucking sink basin full of fucking
dude,
puke.
I remember to this day what made me sick, dude. Red Lobster.
Ugh, I cleaned up a Red Lobster puke.
Oh, God, dude. No.
I wish he would have done it on the... it would have been better if he just puked on the fucking floor straight up. Rather than puking in a sink so that it had to fucking submerge my hand in fucking vomit. It's the worst fucking day of my life. So those are pretty disgusting.
Dude, I fucking love it.
Do it as a profession. You know what I mean? At least my fucking job isn't like I go around and clean up puke or whatever.
Good point.
Dude, I'm so glad you had to fucking dig through my puke, TJ.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
That is
so
nice.
let's start with one that's not so much disgusting as it is just like a horrible job. So
okay.
Are either of you guys familiar with the concept of a whipping boy?
Yeah.
A whipping boy?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've heard it used to describe like somebody that's low on the totem pole.
Yeah, like in a communal setting, someone that bears the brunt of all criticism and is, maybe bullied.
Nope, that's not what a whipping boy is.
Oh, okay, shut up. Well, I guess I'm wrong.
So, the role of a prince was lavish. Only the best food, drink, and education for the bright young prince. With all that pampering and such, it's no surprise the prince is usually a rotten little piece of shit brat. Tutors, educators, priests, and everyone else basically always, because the prince is such a spoiled little piece of shit, they want to fucking beat him, right? Especially at the time when like smacking a kid is just like nothing,
Of course.
Kid acts up, you hit him, but you can't do that with the prince because only the king can discipline the prince. So, in order to channel that aggression somewhere, they created the concept of the whipping boy. So the job of the whipping boy is basically to receive corporal punishment that the prince can't.
So he takes wait.
Yeah.
He takes the ass beating that was meant for the prince.
Yep.
That is like their shittiest job.
So the people that have to deal with the prince can take out their aggression and beat an avatar of the prince, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god!
Look what I've been doing to you, you little son of a bitch.
So whenever the prince transgressed in any way, the whipping boy would be beaten, instead.
Oh my god!
So, it's basically like how it goes. And it's like, it's supposed to like deter the behavior without having actually, like, it's supposed to be like the prince is supposed to like feel empathy for I don't want to act up because I don't want, the whipping boy to be beaten again, but he's the prince and he's spoiled and fucking narcissistic and sociopathic. So that's
he's like, yeah, I can do whatever I want. And this dumb fucking peasant gets beat. Awesome.
So, in return for receiving the corporal punishment, the whipping boy there are some benefits to being a whipping boy. The whipping boy was able to receive the same education as the prince from the country's best scholars and wise men. Some accounts of modern slavery in the southern United States were shown to have whipping boys to be used to take punishment for the master's child. However, education was not normally given to the slave boy, unlike their European counterparts.
See. Well, I mean, it sounds like the European whipping boy at least got a little something. Like you served, a few years as a whipping boy till the prince was old enough, but at the end of it, you had, the best education money could buy.
Look, you're living in a time where there's not a lot of upward mobility, too. So this is kind of a way that you could actually move up in the world at the time.
Yeah.
But what a fucking job to have to do to get there, though.
Yeah. So it's debated amongst historians if whipping boys were as common as reported or if some were just made up. Many are claimed to be myths or stories used by commoners basically to make the king and the royal family look bad.
Of course.
Sure.
So it's not really known how common this was or if it was. I mean, it could have been super common. It could have been really rare. It could have been something that's just totally made up.
Not something that was written about a whole lot, I'm assuming.
Well, it was written about a lot, but it was kind of like, is this just something the peasants are making up to make the royals look bad, kind of thing?
Of course, with history, it's really difficult to know because it's just, a lot of sources will write down the same information, but then, of course, like you're saying, is this a myth of the time that got spread? Because
like if you hate some politician today, you're gonna fucking believe any bullshit that you hear about him. Just like, Ted Cruz actually was the Zodiac killer. People are like, oh, maybe, he's a piece of shit,
Right.
So, it's kind of like take it with a little bit of grain of appall.
Yeah, the whole let them eat cake thing.
I can't remember who said it. Who said that history is a pack of lies agreed upon?
I don't know, but whoever said it was right.
Yeah, what a genius.
Paul, you're gonna love this next picture. This is just gonna tickle. I'm just gonna let you know. I think I know your sense of humor, and I think that this is gonna tickle your funny bone, dude.
What?
He's wiping his ass with a rag on a stick.
Butt wiper?
King Henry.
I thought he was pointing to his butt, too.
I am Henry the Eighth. I am. Get my ass wiped by a rag on a stick. Oh, fuck me. Yes, this had to be.
Now, here's a problem.
Wiping the king's ass with a rag on a stick. Look at the dude.
No.
The dude having to fucking cover his face with a fucking
let me tell you something. This is totally wrong. No, fuck. And I don't care if it's like the next High Lord in the kingdom. You're not going to let the king's not going to let you go like, oh, your shit is disgusting. You have to be happy to receive the royal butt.
I love how the king is like taking some secret, like not even secret, just like open delight in the.
I don't know. He looks slightly annoyed, like he's having to point out the source of his discomfort. Look, he's pointing right at his butthole. He's like, "Look, get to it,
Quickly.
Get the rag on a stick and wipe the royal bottom now."
So the
Quit
guy,
your belly aching. Look at this poor fuck that had to do that. His eyes are closed. His mouth and nose are covered with a rag. Oh.
So this guy here with the stick is the groom of the stool.
Oh, I've heard of this. Yeah.
A prominent position, Paul.
Chamber pots.
Nope. They also wipe the king's ass.
Quickly.
I don't know.
Stool. Quickly, stool.
I gotta be a king, man. I gotta be a king.
here is a kingly toilet, I guess, or whatever it's called, chamber pot, stool, whatever the fuck. Portable commode. This is so basically it was the job of the groom of the stool to monitor and assist in the king's bowel movements. So the word stool was in reference to a portable commode which would have been carried around at all times, along with water, towels, and a wash bowl. To ensure he was carrying out his job at peak efficiency, the groom of the stool would also have closely monitored the king's diet and meal times and would have organized his day around the king's predicted motions. So It was not only your job, it was his job to like anticipate when the king was going to need to shit.
Dude,
you know?
This is a fucking okay, you know what? The king, like, you can say what you want about like, oh, we live in the time of technology and all that, but I've never had a guy that's dedicated to my bowel movements. It sounds refreshing. It does. Like, you know, like, oh, it's like after a meal, I see the box get brought out, everything's done, every manner of assistance, tell me take that after dinner shit is made available to me.
So perhaps surprisingly, it was the sons of noblemen or members of the gentry that were awarded the job. Over time, they came to act more as personal secretaries to the king and were rewarded with high pay and some great benefits, such as the right to lodgings in every palace, the sovereign's old clothes, and the option to have any used bedchamber furnishings. So basically, there was a lot of fringe benefits to being the king's like ass
groom
wiper and fucking bowel movement assistant guy. Groom of the stool was a position that came with some benefits. It fucking, I mean, like, it really puts you in there with the king. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, you become like a confidant, I imagine.
Right, because it's like, you know, the king ain't gonna fucking be putting up airs around the dude that fucking wipes his ass. You know what I mean?
I assume he probably did, but probably way less airs than he would a member of the court. You know?
Yeah, because like, you know, of the monarchs who have most enjoyed this personal attention, it was Mad King George III who employed the most grooms throughout a single reign, a total of 9, including John Stewart, who would later go on to host The Daily Show.
Cool.
Or be Prime Minister of Great Britain, whichever of the two. Quite amazingly, the role of Groom of the Stool, known as Groom of the Stole from the Stuart era onwards, carried all the way until 1901 when King Edward VII decided to abolish it. It's like,
so Edward VII was like, you know what? I think I can poop on my own.
I've got it.
Seems like but that just goes to show you, dude. Like it's something I don't think about a whole lot, but if you really think about like being not just rich, but like Bezos rich, the level of which you could eliminate like stupid fucking human bullshit that every human being has to deal with from your life is fucking astounding.
Oh yeah.
Like imagine, like, because taking a poop, it can be like a pleasurable experience, but there's cleanup afterwards. You got to wipe your ass. You got to smell it in the air. Like, think about if you had like a person whose job it was to facilitate that poop and make it the most like comfortable experience possible. Spritzing perfume into the air as you poop. You know, washing your bum with some nice warm water and a washcloth afterwards. You know what I mean?
Paul, like a poop valet or concierge, dude. That's exactly what you need.
Exactly. And like you could have a dude whose job it was to like dress you.
Well, this is kind of just like the early version of the of those like super automated like Toto toilets.
Of course, yeah, it was like a human Toto. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I gotta admit though, both of these jobs suck, but both of them had pretty amazing fucking benefits. It's like I haven't found one yet that's just like, and you made 6 pence for raking through your shit all day. I haven't heard that yet. You know, like these whipping boys got taken care of.
How about this one, Paul?
Slaughterhouse worker.
Yeah. I mean,
the job of a slaughterer.
This takes a special kind of person right here.
They sure do. The job of a slaughterer is disgusting, mentally draining job. Work may include severing jugular veins to facilitate slaughtering, slitting open and trimming carcasses, skinning, electrifying animals, tossing live animals such as baby chicks into blenders, etc.
They
A
eat.
bunch of dead chickens.
Jesus.
Slaughterhouses are normally built in poor and or minority communities and provide workers a yearly income of $23,790. So basically,
Yeah, we're now approaching the level of job where, yeah, like me and Paul are like, nope. It's a
mental illness, injuries, and even death are all but too common in slaughterhouses, with many going unreported. So here's a few articles that kind of delve deeper into that. So this is from Yale Global Health Review, a call to action: psychological harm in slaughterhouse workers. I think this is pretty long, but we can
Read that first paragraph.
We can read a few paragraphs to get the flavor. Down in the blood pit, they say that the smell of blood makes you aggressive, and it does. You get an attitude that if the hog kicks at me, I'm going to get even. You're already going to kill the hog, but that's not enough. It has to suffer. When you get a live one, you think, oh, good, I'm going to beat this sucker. These words do not come from the mouth of someone that society would classify as mentally well. However, they are words that sadly represent a class of workers present in civilized countries across the world, slaughterhouse workers. In America alone, over 70,000 individuals work on slaughter lines and face the daily burden of killing several hundred animals every hour. These workers perform a job that is, by its very nature, puts them at risk of psychological disorder and pathological sadism. The risk emerges from a combination of many factors of slaughterhouse work, one of which is the stressful environment that slaughtering creates. A large portion of the stress comes from the exceptionally high rates of injury among workers. Slaughter facilities boast non-fatal injury rates up to 20 out of every 100 workers. So basically like 1/5. A proportion that is steadily decreasing, but still makes meat packing far and away the most dangerous profession in the United States. This monstrous rate mainly comes from the everyday workplace hazards that are especially present in slaughterhouses, such as repetitive motions and heavy lifting. Yet a significant portion comes from other unpredictable dangers that serve as a more severe source of everyday stress. Employees' interactions with live, frightened, and dangerous animals that must be contained and controlled means that every minute of work is another minute of profound danger.
So this is a job I straight up just couldn't do. Like, even in desperation, I have too much empathy for animals. I could not fucking slit the throats of 1,000 pigs a day. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's like how do you do that? I mean, like, look, and I understand a lot of these people are probably just doing it because there's nothing else they can do.
Yeah, but even then, like, I just wouldn't be able to do it. I would puke. I would be a blubbering fucking mess. I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, I might try it out of desperation, but
yeah,
I can tell you, like, if it was my job to fucking slit the throats of 1,000 hogs a day, there's no fucking way I'd do it. I couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to even imagine
hypocrisy to this because, like, this is why I've got sausage and bacon, you know?
Right.
Well, of course, that's the other end of it. Of course, you know, it's that we all, you know, anyone that eats meat benefits from this.
So not only is there, of course, profound psychological impact on many people who work these jobs, but also it's a very dangerous job, as we mentioned, and we actually don't have good stats on that. And here's why from NPR on a section called "The Salt."
Hey,
so made for Paul. A slaughterhouse is a safer place to work than it used to be, according to a new government report, but data gathered by the federal government doesn't likely capture all the risks faced by meat and poultry workers. In an update to the 2005 report criticizing safety conditions for workers in the meat industry, the Government Accountability Office says injuries and illnesses are still common. From 2004 to 2013, 151 meat and poultry workers died from injuries sustained at work. The injury rate for meat workers is higher than the rest of the manufacturing industry, but injuries in the meat industry are also likely underreported. The GAO found several situations that may keep reported numbers from packing plants lower than reality. Here are some examples. Sanitary workers who clean machinery in meat plants have suffered amputated limbs and severed fingers. Some have died on the job, but their cases are not always counted with meat and poultry industry data because many of those work for third-party contractors.
Of course.
Medical staff at on-site clinics have encouraged workers to return to the line without seeing a doctor for pain. GAO cited a case where a worker made 90 visits to a nursing station before being referred to a physician. Meat and poultry workers are often immigrants or refugees. They may downplay or not report injuries to protect their jobs or livelihoods. Probably also immigrants.
Let's be real. We just recently this came up with COVID. A number of people worked at meat plants, these factory farms essentially. They contracted COVID and died. They're not any safer at all. They don't take safety any safe. There's no way. Yeah, they're safe. Yeah, if anything, I agree with you. They're less safe. So this is a fucking farce. Anyone believes like, oh, they're look, according to these rates here, it's like the article basically just poked a hole in that. They're like, they just subcontract all their shit out now. So it's, oh, well, we didn't have an accident. The subcontractor had an accident. We're fine here.
Now, are you ready to go to hell?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah, great.
By the way, a lot of these companies are trying to make it illegal to even do this kind of espionage on them.
Oh, dude, I don't think Paul's going to be able to watch this shit. This is the kill floor. So these animals are obviously highly distressed.
32,000 hogs are slaughtered here per day.
So you're in a room filled with a bunch of animals that are going to be killed.
Some weird conveyor belt thing fucking...
Does it crush them? Oh, it just, it forces them into it's something that's going to kill them, basically.
You got 2,000 hogs an hour going through.
So it's something that kills them quickly. I'm guessing it subdues them. Oh, now they're just slaughtering them. They're slitting their throats. They're hanging them out. I think there's blood coming out. Yep.
It's easy to get hurt down there. You're doing that same movement for that same piece of the hog, and it's nonstop. Basically, you treat it as a human machine.
You can see why it's so easy to injure yourself. These people are working on lines quickly with a lot of sharp objects and heavy machinery and equipment.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing very repetitive tasks.
Yep. In a pretty disgusting, unsanitary conditions as well.
I mean, this is obviously extrapolated out to all industrial workers that work on lines.
Oh, yeah.
Repetitive
But they said the rates
stuff.
of injury are worse.
I imagine so, because you're dealing with animals
struggling with you, too.
Right. Animals that fight back and dealing with sharp weapons and blah, blah, blah. Guns. I know that, like, cows, they've got these, like, gunpowder activated, like, I don't know what to call them. It's like they put the thing against the cow's head.
Yeah. And
then it fires, like, I think it's either gunpowder or like really high pressure air.
Yeah, it's like a compressed air thing. They used Anton Chigurh used one in No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He used I actually read about that, and the thing that he had, the tank that he carried with it would not have been able to create a high enough PSI to kill a person.
Gotcha.
Like the tanks that are used to kill the animals are huge. Right. So you can't really have a portable version of that, but it was cool in the movie anyway.
Whatever, it works in the
Not
film.
like it matters, I'm just saying. It's one of the little pieces of trivia I read about that.
So what do you think about this job? Not much perks as far as this goes. Maybe some free meat.
Probably not even that, honestly. Maybe some of these guys get to take home a cut every once in a while of what's left over and unsellable, but that's kind of gross. I wouldn't call that a perk. Yeah, this one definitely, like, I'd rather be a whipping boy. I'd rather be the attendant of the stool.
Yeah, way more perks.
Not even a contest, dude. Not even a contest.
What about the worst jobs in ancient Rome?
I mean, I can imagine, like, ancient Rome, the medieval times, fucking ancient Egypt, pretty much ancient anything. There were some people doing some shit that, like, you wouldn't even think of now.
Right.
For jobs.
TJ would have been a catamite.
Imperial household right here.
I mean, this isn't kind of a.
I guess a slave is not necessarily a job.
You're kind of press ganged into doing this, but I mean, I guess technically you've got to do it to live, so it's technically a job, but just not traditionally.
I don't know if I can get to the next page. It seems like it's loading endlessly.
Shitty. Let's
see if I can refresh it and get it to work.
And give us a refresh.
No.
Okay. All right. Well.
All right. Well, fuck ancient Rome then.
Never mind.
Well, let's just make some up.
Yeah.
So
okay,
in
go ahead.
ancient Rome, there was a guy. It was not only men that did this; women did it too. But they were called the gutter shit licker.
Yeah.
So, like, you know how people didn't used to have plumbing and stuff in a lot of these ancient cultures, and they would throw their chamber pots out into the street. Well, it was thought due to a very obscure Bible passage that one of the ways to be closest to God was to eat shit from the gutter.
Yeah.
It showed the ultimate humbleness. So a number of people were hired to just kind of run around these dirty parts of the city and slurp human shit and piss and cum and blood out of the gutters.
Yeah,
Amazing.
they can be called gutter licks, dude.
Gutter licks, yeah, that's what they were called.
Yeah, the good old gutter licks. What are these women doing, Paul? What job is going on here?
Can you give me a sec so I can like look into it? Let me try and deduce what's happening.
All right, so they're at a river or a
Yeah,
stream.
they're definitely in a river. One of them looks like she's pissing in the river. Maybe is she like lifting up her shirt and peeing? The one with her back to us. I can't tell.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm thinking these chicks were like getting rid of poop, right? So they would take the poop to the river. That was their job.
Take the poop down.
It looks like they're collecting something. I don't know. I feel like they're collecting something. I don't know,
What
though.
are they collecting, Scotty?
What have they got in there?
What are they
Turds.
building in there?
Collecting like animal turds.
I have no idea. What the fuck would they be collecting? Maybe no, oysters. Not that. I guess collecting oysters would not be that fucking disgusting. I don't know.
These women are leech collectors.
Oh, what?
Oh man.
Fuck
That's
that
what
job,
they're
dude.
for.
A leech collector was a person whose job it was to collect leeches for medical purposes. In 19th century Europe, leeches were in demand by medical practitioners to be used in bloodletting. Bloodletting
Why
was the
didn't they
removal
breed
of
them?
bad blood from the body in order to prevent or cure illness. I don't know. Maybe it was hard to do. Or maybe they were stupid because they were literally bloodletting people. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you seem to think that like if leeches were in high demand, somebody would have thought like, hey, I'm going to make a big pond for leeches and farm them.
Yeah. Well, here's an actual example of bloodletting.
This is not leeching. This is just
not
a dude
leeching. This is
cutting an
just
artery and letting the blood out.
Yep. But this is an example of bloodletting nonetheless. Here is a leech bloodletting. This person looks like they're very, very into what's going on here. Like, I can't even mimic the look of agony on that person's fucking face.
Dude, you know what I watched recently? Stand By Me. You remember the leech scene in that where they
Yeah.
they wade like chest deep into this pond and they come out and they're just like covered in leeches.
Yeah. Well, they would have been good leech collectors.
They would have, because like if you go back to that first picture that you were looking at, those women are barefoot, probably because the method was to walk around in these leech infested areas, let them attach themselves to you.
Yeah, here I have it here. In order to catch leeches, a collector would go into the water of a marsh or barge while bare-legged. Leeches would then attach themselves to the collector, and that would and they would normally be removed or not removed until it finished sucking enough blood. So they basically let it suck their blood until it got nice and fat and engorged. I guess it's easier to pull off at that point. And then they pull it on off and collect it in their little barrel. Here's an example of some leech bites, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Man, fuck you, TJ. I know exactly why you pulled this shit, you fucking son of a bitch.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you don't know what I'm talking about?
Many in this profession suffered from complications related to blood loss and ailments such as eromonous skin infection, which may appear as a rash with crusting erosions, abscesses, and pustules, redness and swelling involving deeper skin, or even gangrenism or necrosis.
Yeah, that doesn't look good there. That doesn't look like something I'd want to wake up and find on me.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to like be in the shower one day and scrubbing my balls and then like look at my leg and see one of those, you know?
Yeah.
So the job did not pay well, And there was actually a poem in 1802 written by William Wordsworth named Resolution and Independence that was about an encounter with a poor leech collector. In one part of the poem, he writes, "He told that to these waters he had come to gather leeches, being old and poor, employment hazardous and wearisome, and he had many hardships to endure. From pond to pond he roamed, from moor to moor, housing with God's good help by choice or chance, and in this way he gained an honest maintenance."
Wow.
Yep.
That's this one, once again, zero fringe benefits. In fact, like the opposite of fringe benefits. Literally, something sucks blood out of you for this
Yes.
job.
So leech collecting lasted for hundreds of years, but finally died down due to many factors, including the near extinction of the species in Europe. So by the 1850s, leeches were mainly imported from Asia due to disregard for conservation. So basically, not only was leech collecting a it wasn't lucrative; it was paid like shit. But not only it was super common, it got so common that they pretty much hunted the leech to near extinction.
I wish they would have kept doing it.
By the turn of the 20th century, leeches were declared extinct in the British Isles, only to be rediscovered in the 1970s.
Boo!
Another factor that led to the downfall of the leech collector was the rise in scientific discovery. The medical use of leeches in bloodletting began to be questioned and proven to be nonsense by most doctors and scientists. The rise of germ theory of disease is what was basically the final nail in the coffin for the medical, or at least for most medical uses of leeches. There actually are some.
Yeah, well, you know that like people still do this though. Like there are still.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there are still people like, we never should have stopped bloodletting.
No, there really are. There are people like alternative medicine places that'll do bleeding and leeching and all this shit. It's still around, but just not. You don't go to the doctor's office and get it anymore.
No, of course not. So here's a leech swimming around. You've never seen a leech swim before.
I haven't. I'll check it out. Look at him go. See, I'm not real grossed out by leeches. I mean, I think I wouldn't want to have one on me. But I think they're pretty cool little animals. You know what I mean? You know what they remind me of? Those remora.
Scotty has a fear of leeches.
Oh, he does? He's got a leech fear?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
A lot of it's because when he was a little kid, he came to me, he's like, TJ, what's a leech? And I like spun this fanciful yarn about how like leeches could like suck all the blood out of your body and like kill you within seconds and shit.
I gotcha. A little phobia from childhood.
So I basically fucking came up with some like horror movie like exaggeration.
Man, fuck this leech shit, dude. I don't fucking care, man. I don't care about these leeches.
Like as squeamish as I am when it comes to stuff, like there are very few animals on this planet that inspire like genuine fear and revulsion in me. Like revulsion, I would say roaches probably. I hate seeing a roach in my house, especially. I'm trying to think of any other animal that really just like grosses me out to the point.
Roaches are gross. Here's a video of someone getting bloodletted.
It's a bit like dentistry.
Just to kind of show it off.
Right, so he's putting it on there.
Oh, I can feel it. Oh, jeez. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, there's little teeth going in. It feels like very, very small.
Oh, why, dude? Stop this.
What did they use leeches for? Basically, everything. If you were to lose your left leg, or you had a little headache, so by giving you a quick bleed, the idea was to make you feel better.
Oh, no.
Prescribe it, but bloodletting itself was mainly left to the unsophisticated barber surgeons.
Barber surgeons.
Yeah, you guys heard that right, too. If you guys know anything about that, barbers used to do all kinds of...
Yeah, do surgery and shit. That's why they're... That's why they had red, and that's why the red and white in their like logos, because they used to hang out like bloody rags and shit.
Yeah, there was a game I played recently called The Outer Worlds, which is like it's a futuristic game, but it's about a bunch of planets that are basically backwaters.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of the little settlements there was a barber who was also the doctor. So I didn't know until I played that game that used to be a thing. I went and looked it up, and sure enough, like barbers and doctors used to be pretty much synonymous. Like, I'm feeling sick. I'm gonna go to the barber and have him let like half a pint of blood out of me, and I'll just get a shave while I'm there too. It's very convenient.
Shaving a bleeding, please.
Shaving a leech, governor.
What a horrible time to be alive.
Yep.
So here's the Sin Eater. You guys, the Sin Eater was basically someone who like would absolve, like would take your sins upon themselves once you died, so that you could like sneak your way into heaven, basically, even though you were a piece of shit.
So there was a very literal depiction of this in the latest Hellraiser movie.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if you remember that. In the latest Hellraiser movie, the Hellraiser Cenobites take you to a dirty house and tie you up, and then they interrogate you about your sins and type them out on some paper, and then a big fat dude comes in.
Yeah. I remember your description from the Hellraiser thing you did.
So like a very literal sin eater. You know, he comes and eats the paper and then pukes it all up.
So let's see how it actually worked out. When a loved one died in parts of England, Scotland, or Wales in the 18th and 19th century, the family grieved, placed bread on the chest of the deceased, and called for a man to sit in front of the body. The family of the deceased watched as this man, the local professional sin eater, absorbed the sins of the departed soul. The family who hired the sin eater believed that the bread literally soaked up their loved one's sins once it had been eaten. All the misdeeds were passed on to the hired hand. The sin eater's own soul was heavy with the ill deeds of countless men and women from his village or town. He paid a high spiritual price for little worldly return. The coin he was given was worth a mere 4 English pence, the equivalent of a few US dollars today. So, this would be a pretty good scam if you actually got paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, this was
no
kind of horseshit.
But I mean, a lot of these people who were sin eaters probably did believe that they really were like damning themselves to hell by doing this job.
Yeah, that would suck. But if you had half a brain in your head, this is a pretty fucking easy gig. All I got to do is sit by this corpse and eat some bread today, and I get paid. All right.
But you don't get paid well.
Right. That kind of sucks. You'd think it would be a high paid job.
Yeah, like this should be like a lucrative. I'm gonna go to hell.
Now you get 4 pence, dude.
Earthly life, nice.
It's a shit job because look, you have to go to a bunch of fucking funerals. You barely get paid. You have to eat some probably nasty ass bread that's been on a corpse all day.
So basically, the only people who would actually do this job were like poor people because
Well, yeah, because it sucks.
Who cares about their souls?
Back in those days, people. I mean, like everyone believed this shit was real. So, I mean, like, there wasn't, I mean, there might have been a few sin eaters that were like, whatever, I'm getting paid for nothing. But a lot of them were probably like, I'm going straight in hell, but I can't. It's like,
I don't know.
Fucking job.
It's a shame that the first bite of bread I have is so laden with horrible sin.
Basically.
I'd rather have some butter on this bread than all this sin.
I want to cast Paul as a fat peasant in a movie about his life where he's just like a fucking sin eater.
Dude, that would be a great movie. A movie about a fat guy who loves being a sin eater because he realizes it's bullshit and he just gets free bread all day. He goes from funeral to funeral just eating dead body bread loaves. That's how
you got any sourdough? No. Oh, that's good sin.
Oh, he sinned a lot, didn't he?
You got any?
I better act more solemn. Oh no!
Hold on, let me bust out my little tub of sin cream cheese here and spread it on there. Yeah, this is thin cream cheese for my last sin eating. I'll just do a little extra here. Oh yeah. Oh God, this is horrible. I'm going straight to hell. Thank you very much for your money. I'll see you next time you need me. You know what I mean?
I was talking to God earlier, and he was telling me that he thinks that there was your husband committed too many sins. We're gonna need like a sin steak and some like a sin baked potato,
a sin buffet. Yeah, sin buffet. The bread's not enough.
He was real sinful. The bread can't even hold it all. Just like looking at a piece of bread, like it looks like some of his sins aren't fitting in the bread. You guys, I'm gonna need some more.
Yeah.
We're going to need something a little more substantive to hold these sins.
You know what? This guy was real sinful. I'm going to even need some sinful dessert to top this off. Put a piece of pie on this motherfucker right now.
I mean, unless, of course, you want his soul damned to hell for all time. I mean, of course, that's a small price to pay.
Delicious sin pie. It tastes better with the sins of a past soul in it, personally. But whatever. That's, I guess, a personal preference thing.
You know, a lot of people think that that being a sewage worker is probably a pretty disgusting job, but you know, I looked into it, and it is.
Yeah.
Rats, roaches, feces, dark passages, and the occasional corpse are all too common in the life of a sewage worker.
Oh, man.
The job of a sewage worker entails walking and sometimes crawling through sewer tunnels to inspect for cracks, clogs, and several other problems.
You know what thing they have to do a lot of now, TJ?
What?
Because so many people use wipes. Like, toilet paper just breaks up. Like, a lot of wipes do not.
And, like,
these guys are in there literally, like, unclogging giant fucking clogs of, like, baby wipes and shit.
Nope.
They're pulling it. Dude, it's happening, like, all over the fucking world, dude. It's crazy.
Workers of this job have a risk of contracting hepatitis, cholera, lung infections, basically a never-ending list of ailments. I mean, every time a sewer worker does their job, he or she runs the risk of catching a nasty disease or being infected with some kind of terrible bacteria. All it takes is a tiny, unnoticeable hole in the worker's jumpsuit for something horrible to happen. So as if crawling through human excrement isn't bad enough, some must go all the way and swim through sewage to remove clogs. These workers get the special distinction of sewer divers.
Oh, man.
So sewer workers, by the way, on average, make a salary of about $36,000 to $75,000 a year, depending on their position.
I mean, that's at least a decent living. You know what I mean?
Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs said that this job was the most disgusting one that he ever did of all the ones he did on the show. Yeah, Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe or whatever. So in an interview with Bill O'Reilly, Mike Rowe, the host of Dirty Jobs, said that the sewage inspector worker was the worst job he ever had to do on the show. O'Reilly said, did you find anything interesting down there? Rowe said, found a series of cracks, none of which made me happy because you have to go down with mortar around your neck and a trowel. So you're bent over as the effluent is flowing between your legs. So here's a sewage diver at work.
Okay. Nope. Okay.
My
What?
fucking.
What?
Is he going in? He's going in.
He's going in.
He's going into the goo.
He's going in. He's deep diving it. Oh my fucking god! You got to be kidding me with this shit, dude.
Oh.
This guy is a fucking champ, dude. He does not care. He's like, all right, let me get this clog. It's like he's in a bunch of like split pea soup, dude. But I know it's like just like goo.
I have to close my eyes for a second.
It's fucking goo. Oh, go into the goo, Paul. Oh, there's flies and shit everywhere. It's like, oh. Look at it. Look at it, Paul. Take a good look.
I want to see it probably totally submerged.
Oh, he's submerged, Paul. Paul, he's submerged.
He's
Submerged. Oh, he's going all the way. He's going all the way.
Look at the bubbles.
Oh, he's going all the way. He's bubbling, Paul. Paul, it's bubbling. His air bubbles are coming out of the goo. His air oh, he's emerging from the goo. Oh, there's no way it's not. There's no way it's not completely disgusting, dude. There's no way you cannot feel anything but total revulsion and disgust for what you're seeing here. He's literally soaked in goo. He's diving into it. Oh, fuck. How do you do that job, man? Dude, some people have mental fortitude I couldn't even dream of having. Because if I saw a pile of goo, I'm going to say nope. Let the sewage system crumble.
Look at this.
That was a close call, gentlemen. That was a close fucking call there. We were on the verge. We were dry heaving for sure. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I can't do it. Couldn't do it. Wouldn't do it.
Hey, buddy. How you doing down there?
Was that just a gator?
Yeah.
Just a dead gator?
It's not dead. It's been tranquilized.
Oh, Jesus.
Alligator.
Good job, Paul.
No.
What about that? What if you had to choose? You have to be a sewer worker or a slaughterhouse worker.
Ooh.
Sewer. Unfortunately, sewer. I don't think I could do either. I think I would be a horrible sewer diver and a horrible slaughterhouse worker. But if I had to choose,
mosquitoes are the deadliest animal on the planet Earth to humans. They kill more people than every other species on Earth combined. So scientists study mosquitoes for a number of reasons, such as to determine methods in which mosquitoes hunt, finding new ways to kill them, testing repellents, and even attempting to change their DNA to try to cause their species to go extinct, which hopefully... while this may sound like a normal science-type job, it does come with one particularly nasty task. Some mosquitoes refuse to suck the blood out of a dead animal and will only dine upon the flesh of a human being. And that's where this comes in.
No.
Oh, man, why? Oh, no, fuck.
Oh, you couldn't pay me enough. You wouldn't pay me enough. There's not enough money or wealth or power or influence on this planet fucking Earth to get me to do this job.
Some researchers have the unlucky job of feeding hundreds of mosquitoes, sometimes daily. Precautions are taken, obviously, and many are tasked to feed the hordes of insects, say they get used to the initial pain and itching. Many scientists have stated that the worst part of feeding the insects is the fact that they take their time. It is a slow and painful task that goes with little reward. So you study all your... not only this is a job you have to. This is like literally a scientist doing this. Like this is someone who like went to college for years and is like super smart. That ends up like, well, time to feed the mosquitoes. You know what I mean? Like, oof, what a terrible fucking aspect of the job.
Damn, dude, he just covered in them.
Here's it happening in real time.
Containers like flower vase.
Let's see if we can get to. There's like a certain part where they're feeding it. There we go.
To the human host. After inoculation, the mosquito takes a blood meal, and it's during the blood meal stage that many pathogens find their way.
Who cares? We're not here to learn. We're just here to fucking gawk at the disgusting job. Here's dudes doing it. Looks like it's really pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, dude, let a bunch of mosquitoes just crawl all over you and drink your blood. Just, no, I wouldn't want to do it.
So here's a better video of just the raw feeding here.
Hey, guys, for science. Do it for science, Paul. Look, put your hand in.
Mm-mm.
Put your hand in, Paul.
For science, motherfucker. I ain't doing it for science.
No, you're doing it for science, Paul.
I'd send the entirety of humanity back to the dark ages before I did this fucking job for science.
Dude,
science
Chelsea,
could eat a dick.
If Chelsea was here, she'd be freaking the fuck out.
She doesn't like mosquitoes.
She hates mosquitoes.
I'm not like grossed out by them, but I'm grossed out by the idea of like 1,000 of them feeding on me at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like imagine like how fucking irritated your arm feels doing that.
Dude, I bet they've just got like when they first start doing this, because like what happened, like it's basically like an allergic response. The little bit of saliva that the insect or liquid, I don't know if they have saliva, but the little bit of liquid that they leave behind in you creates a histamine response in your body that creates that raised bump. So I'm assuming that these doctors and stuff that do this every day eventually get to the point where they're not getting like the big kind of itchy sores or you know what I'm talking about? Like the just
probably,
itchiness.
yeah.
Like it once you've had enough of this happen to you, your skin probably adapts and that histamine response probably stops. But even then, dude, it's going to leave little fucking painful sores on you. It's going to leave your arm, feeling all fucked up and weird and scabby and nope.
Let me ask you a question, Paul. Would you do this if there was something in your blood that would eventually go on to eliminate all mosquitoes?
I would do this. I will tell you this. I would do this, but not just my arm, my whole body naked in a big tank filled with fucking mosquitoes, letting them feed on me before I'd get in that shit or work at a slaughterhouse. I'll tell you that right now. Like I'd do a worse version of this before I did the normal version of the shit diver. You know what I mean?
Dude, fuck the shit dive, man. There's no way, dude. There is no fucking way I'd want to do that job. It's like, because you think about it, like, Paul, you're literally swimming down and finding a giant clog of baby wipes and fucking wipes that should never have been flushed, covered in fucking shit in a pile of goo, and you have to like pull it out by hand, like just get that.
You're swimming in shit. looking for a clog made of baby wipes that are covered in several people's, like multiple people's shit and piss. That's literally clogged in an ocean of shit and piss.
And goo. It's
So
like
you're not
goo.
even diving in water. You're diving in shit to get shit out of shit. Basically, that's your job. That's gotta be the worst. That's gotta be the worst one on the list. That's gotta be the worst one on the fucking list.
Well, I guess
There's
we
no
can
way the
decide.
shit diver is gonna be beat.
So, Sky, remember when you were a little kid and you used to eat cat food?
Well, I prefer dog food.
Well, whatever. You know what the point is? You missed a lucrative fucking career, Scotty,
I did?
as a pet food taster. So, imagine going to school for years, staying up late, studying hours on end, going thousands of dollars into student debt, and you did it all just to eat cat food and dog food for a living. So that's the job of the pet food taster, which normally requires a doctorate degree.
Oh my God, are you
I
serious?
know, right?
Why?
Because many scientific tests and reports are required of the job, and you have to determine nutritional values and stuff like that.
Oh, I see.
So, here you go. Bon appetit.
No, thank you.
Ah, damn, that's...
Before digging into a delicious bowl of wet dog food, the taster must evaluate the smell.
Of course.
While many animals eat their food quickly and seemingly without thought, the smell is one of the reasons they like it. And after evaluating the smell, the tester evaluates the texture, taste, and consistency of the dish. Testers will have to eat/try mainly offal, which is the internal organs and entrails of butchered animals. Examples of offal include intestines, tongue, testicles, kidney, spleen, pancreas, brain, hide. And after earning your doctorate degree and doing this job, you can earn the lucrative, extraordinary salary of $34,000 a year.
Are you joking? You have to have a doctorate, and you earn $34,000 a year.
Dude, you'll never even pay off your student loans, and you'll do nothing but eat fucking dog food for 80 years.
Yep.
No. Fuck that.
Not only is this a disgusting job, it's a job that's difficult to get, that requires fucking years of education and pays shit. How is there even anyone who does this job?
Yeah, I don't know.
This must be like someone got their doctorate trying to get some other job and then they just end up here. Like, that's the only thing I can think of.
Oh yeah, I can guarantee you that. I mean, maybe there are some people that this is their passion or something, but I can almost guarantee that the people that are employed in this position probably landed there because they couldn't get the one they wanted. You know what I mean?
So here's them at work.
Back in the office, quality manager Job is setting up for one of the regular highlights in the working day.
My job requires an element of perfection and attention to detail.
Time to try Whiskas.
He's stoked about this. He's ready.
But I don't live in a perfect world.
It's time for the daily panel, where Joe's factory associates get to review recently made merchandise. The bell is the call to action.
Doggos.
Hey, this is how they should do tastings.
Daily panel.
Today, they're examining pedigree meaty meals in jelly and the current Whiskas 1 Plus for kittens. Stickler Joe is anxious to hear that every
For me,
It's just a bunch of people, and it's such like an official so now we will eat dog. Like, they really have to fancy it up to make themselves feel like they're not eating dog food for a
Dude, I
living.
fucking love it, dude. This the corporate world is so insidious, it can make you, as part of your job, stand around with a bunch of other grown adults and now we're gonna eat dog food.
Yep. At least there's cute dogs around.
Yeah. I would do this job just for the dogs, you know?
if ever we find something that's wrong, then I do take it personally. Help yourself to some product.
And this is how seriously they take their quality control. They eat the food themselves. Kirsty, who oversees packaging, is a bit of a connoisseur.
Tastes good. This one's got peas and carrots in it as well, so it's a little...
They're like,
Hey, you know what, guys? I've realized that when I saw it in Mad Max, I'm like, oh, he ate dog food. It's like, you know what? I guess it's okay to eat dog food. It's not the best thing, but there you go.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Let me tell you, this one here has a nice pecan flavor that I really enjoy, and the offal tastes wonderful. I can taste a little bit of testicle in there, and a heavy brain quotient, which I really love.
Hey, dude, she knows her craft, Paul. She knows what good dog food is.
And her life is like being a dog food connoisseur, and she makes $34,000 a year to do it. It's like, oh.
But you know what, Paul? She's happy. It looks like.
Yeah, I would still do this 1,000,000 times over. I would eat every can of dog food on that table every day rather than swim in that shit. So.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It's like, yeah, eat some dog food, swim in shit. Not hard.
I should have saved the shit for last, maybe.
You probably should have, because I don't think unless there's something I'm missing. You ain't.
TJ, there's no way. I'm telling you this now. There's no way you're topping that.
I've never seen anything that even approaches that.
Jump in the green goo, Paul. It's like, come on, no one's doing that shit, man.
Harrowing. I will dream about that tonight. I guarantee you.
You know, I don't know if there's any zoophiles in our audience that are like,
what do you mean
there's this attraction to animals. I just feel like a freak, and everyone hates me. It's like,
I'm a fucking freak.
There's a silver lining. Have I got a job? Not only does society not necessarily have to hate you, but they might actually pay you to do your sick fucking shit with animals.
What? Are you serious?
This is animal fucking masturbators, dude.
I knew that these dudes existed because I grew up in the country or in a farming area, and yeah,
I've heard about this too. But yeah,
this is the job for animal lovers, you guys. The job of a barnyard masturbator is to masturbate barnyard animals for artificial insemination.
Is that their official name, the barnyard masturbator?
Yep.
All right.
So here's one sticking something up a fucking ram's ass or something.
So
they have two options.
That's a sheep pussy, TJ. I know a sheep.
Look, TJ, Paul knows the finest quality sheep pussy this side of the Mississippi.
I believe that actually is the anus, because it says that there are two ways to do this. The first is to insert a rectal electrifier into the anus of the animal, which sends small shocks of electricity up the bottom of the animal to stimulate it from behind, which I guess makes them come.
Or gets them ready to, like, gets them excited at least so that they can inseminate them or whatever.
Well, the second option is just to do it the old-fashioned way and just jerk them off, basically.
Oh, God.
So here's some dudes masturbating this horse. They have
I've seen this. They've got like a cock sleeve, like a horse fleshlight.
They basically like this chick is like, all right, jerk it off.
Yeah.
Go ahead, jerk it off quick.
So risks come with the job, as animals are beaten off with, they sometimes they fight back. They're like, some animals don't want to get jerked off. They're just like, I'm not attracted to you. Leave me alone. You know?
I'm like, nope, you're going to come, you motherfucker.
So the job of masturbating horses, goats, etc. pays surprisingly well. Has a median income of $46,000 a year. So it pays a lot better. It pays more to jerk off animals than it does to kill them. So just so you know.
Or taste their food.
Yeah, or eat their food for that matter. And that requires a doctorate. All this requires is knowing how to jerk off. So here's a video of a woman explaining how to jerk off a ram, basically. Sperm collection series from August. This is produced by the University of Sydney.
How to collect semen from a ram using an AV.
There's no way anyone's going to be able to hear this woman's soft. I don't know why the YouTube videos play so softly.
I mean, some of them are just mixed horribly. Like, because you played videos earlier that were fine.
Right hand. It is important never to turn your back on a ram, as even friendly, well-trained animals can be unpredictable. Rams should be allowed to express their full range of courtship behaviours. These behaviours may include pawing at the ute, sniffing, and
It's like, leave us alone. We're trying to get our fuck on here. Like, what the hell's your problem?
Yeah, this is creepy.
While some males will
Look at him. Look at that. He's like, yeah. All right. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Get down on that dick.
All right, so when it mounts, she like basically intercepts.
Ejaculation can be as quick as a few seconds.
Damn, Rams ain't fucking around.
With the AV in the right.
Yeah, Ram is just like, all right, done. I'm done. I'm good. How about this job, Paul? Where does it rank?
Pretty low, but like once again, I would jerk off I would jerk off a horse with my bare hands every day than swimming that shit. So
yeah.
And by the way, I think it was kind of hilarious that you said, I don't know if there are people in our audience that are into this. You know our audience, right?
Yeah,
you know our audience. There's at least 500 or 600 fucking zoophiles out there watching us right now, probably beating off.
Well,
so.
you know what? This is your dream job. That's why I'm letting them know.
Oh, there you go.
Worst jobs, but here's them jerking off a horse with one of them things.
Oh, Jesus. They're spilling the product.
I know. What the hell? They're about to spill a bunch more. Look at it.
Oh, Jesus.
It's getting everywhere. Then the penis retracts back inside. Horse is just like, all right, I'm done.
Jesus fucking Christ. What was that for?
I don't know.
Like they didn't collect it. No, was that just
horse
like
sperm collecting process? But it looks like
just
most of the sperm just fell on the fucking ground. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
maybe there's like a mat down there, and they're gonna like scrape it up. I don't know.
Or maybe this was just like so the horse could chill. Maybe this was just like a maintenance nut.
A guy died trying this with his body once, and this is hearted by the animal world fucking thing, so they know exactly what's being talked about here.
Yeah.
I caught my horse watching this. Okay, not sure why this was in my recommend. We all know what you're up to, Cody Stone. Don't fucking play coy with us. Antonio Cressay, why though? Maybe it's explained.
Yeah, maybe.
They sell it. Yeah, but they fucking let it spill, so that doesn't even whatever. It's for artificial insemination, I guess. But like, I don't really understand how it's collecting when all of it just spilled on the ground.
Yeah,
it just seems like you're jerking off a horse for fun.
I really don't like. There was the worst part of this for me was after the horse had come, how tenderly he rubbed the penis as it went back in. That seemed unnecessary.
I think he said "good boy" at the same time too. Like,
yeah, that seemed unnecessary. There, that seemed like a little embellishment that didn't need to happen.
Hey, he loves his work, Paul.
So,
he loves his work. He's just thinking about that 46.
You're muted, Scotty. You're muted.
TJ, you selected this video, right?
Think about that 46,000. Actually, this was provided by Peyton, who helps me with research.
Okay. Well, fair enough, but man,
he's fired.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? What the
Peyton is
oh, these guys are going to watch some dude jerk off a horse under the auspices of, it's collecting the sperm, but we clearly saw in there. Was the ground collecting it? Was his pants collecting it? Who was collecting the fucking sperm? And then as the horse's dick went in, literally goes to say, good boy.
Yeah, and
good boy.
He it back in there and gave it some loving pets as it was.
Oh, man. And then hard to comment and said someone died using his body once. Okay, we know exactly what the fuck this shit is, dude. This was not a legit fucking video.
By the way, I can guarantee you, I can guarantee you that more than one person of both genders has died trying to fuck a horse.
Yep.
So
$46,000 a year, though. So I mean, that's not bad as far as take home, and it doesn't you could say it's a gross job, but it seems like it's over pretty quickly.
And not only that, but if you are one of these dudes that's like into that shit, it's like
there you go. I guess
you're getting paid
in your business with pleasure.
Yeah,
just gotta act like you don't enjoy it though.
I hate this.
Man, I can't believe I gotta do this again.
Shucks.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, if you think about it rationally, you do have to kind of like it on some level. It's your profession.
Yeah.
So wait, do you think the shit divers?
Oh, totally. They love it, dude. They love it, yeah.
Like,
TJ, why else would you do that job?
Get back into shit.
Yeah. I mean, if you do a good job like that, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people that hate them, but some people love that shit. I mean, like, dude, that dude collecting horse semen definitely loved his job. He definitely did.
That thing where the bubbles were coming up at the end, you know, where the dude was like fully submerged in the shit and piss, and there was like bubbles coming up, like,
the bubbling piss and shit, Paul. Bubbling goodness.
I definitely should have made that the fucking finale of the episode.
Yes,
and I regret that I didn't.
If I have a criticism of your episode, it's that.
Yeah, I thought that maybe the animal fucking masturbators. I mean, it was weirder because like the reason that sewage didn't go at the end was because it was like, well, like everyone knows that job and knows that job is disgusting. But
I don't think they know the reality, TJ. They're thinking someone walking through a sewer like, oh, there's a big clog and like, you know, maybe there's a tool or something. They're not thinking of a dude like, all right, let me jump into this fucking piss and shit goo. like I didn't know that was the fucking reality of sewer diving. Like I thought it'd be like water. You know what I mean? Like a dive. You dive into water, right? Like no.
Like,
this guy.
Yeah, there's some shitty pissy water, but I didn't think it was going to be like literal fucking like chili. It looked like chili.
Oh fuck, dude! No. No, that's the worst one easily.
It's shit, piss, puke, and period blood chili, basically that he was swimming in.
Here's every disgusting thing in the world in one.
And it's like a stew. It's like a disgusting stew that you have to get into.
Yeah, it's a slurry. A curry, dude.
A curry.
Human curry. He dives in human curry for a living.
All right. Well, I feel like I'm going to puke now. So maybe that's an episode.
I think it is.
Thank you guys for watching. See you next time with more Deep Fat Fried.
Bye-bye.
Hopefully less disgusting next episode.
Deep Fat Fried. Deep Fat Fried. Deep Fat Fried. Deep Fat Fried.